100.7 FM, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. The time is 8 a.m.
100.7 Melody 100.7 Melody 100.7
Beautiful morning to you and yours, and this is Melody 100.7 FM. Just 2 minutes past 8 a.m. and my name is Bolabad. Welcome to another edition of Melody Sunrise on Melody 100.7 FM. I'm going to be here from now till 9:55, and we've got a lot to do together. First up today is Old School Wednesday, and doesn't mean that we'll be talking about things from way back, or maybe, but mostly the music we'll be listening to on the station today will be throwback music, okay, from the beginning till the end of broadcast of today. All right, but you and I will be doing quite a lot together between now and 8:10. We'll go through the weather forecast and also the motivation quote for today. And once it is 8:10, we check out the front pages of various Nigerian dailies per usual. And once it is 8:30, the sports crew will be in the studios to take us through the exciting world of sports, tell you what is what, and everything in between. All right, and once it is 9 o'clock, it will be time for People's Assembly on Melody Sunrise, where we get to talk about serious issues, things actually boiling in the hearts, or I say burning in the hearts of Nigerians, and all of that. We'll be talking about it. You get to call me, you get to have that conversation with me, and we discuss the situation. And we'll do that for about 35 minutes, and by 9:45, Melody Surprise will be eating the airwaves, where I get to celebrate someone with and for you. We'll do that for 10 minutes and wrap up at 9:55 and call it a day for today. All right, in between that, you'll be listening to good music to kickstart your day, and to be throwback songs, of course. Anyway, moving on from that, let's get started with checking out the weather forecast. It's about 24 degrees Celsius out and now in Ibadan. That is why you're feeling it's a bit chilly. Yeah, just a bit. And the temperature will keep rising to peak at 33 degrees Celsius later today, before the temperature starts dropping up onto 25 degrees Celsius later at night. Sunset is set around 6:54 p.m. today, and cloudy conditions will continue all day with wind gusts up to about 11 kilometers per hour. So that is the forecast for today. Cloudy conditions just like yesterday, and the temperature will peak at 33 degrees Celsius, in the afternoon. Now let's look at the motivation quote for today, for this morning. The motivation quote says this. It says, in the end, it is not the years in your life that counts, it is the life in your years. I'll take that again. In the end, it is not the years that count, it is the life in your years. And you'll be wondering how. Now, this famous quote is actually attributed to, or highlights rather, the quality and fulfillment of life are more important than its sheer length. Okay, it is more important. It encourages living with purpose, with passion, and with intentionality, rather than just focusing on longevity alone. So while commonly attributed to Abraham Lincoln, it is likely a misattribution, possibly originating from about the earliest part of the 20th century's writing on health and literature. But let's break down the quote and see the key parts of the quote. First off, quality over quantity. Now, the focus shifts from merely existing to living purposefully or passionately or intentionally than just living and existing. Another part of that quote says, talking about purpose and meaning, as a shorter life filled with love, adventure, and contribution is considered more valuable than a long, passive, and just one docile one. Okay, another part of the quote you need to be mindful about is mindfulness. That's what I did there. Now, the phrase encourages appreciating what you have and finding joy in the present moment. Now, this whole long story short is urging you to live passionately, intentionally, live with love, adventure, because at the end of the day, it is not about how long you live. It is about how much impact your life had on people around you, or even on yourself. Do you know that you can impact yourself? That is a thing. Yes. So basically, the quote says again, in the end, it is not the years in your life that count. It is the life in your years that counts. Okay. With that being said, I'll be headed back to the music. And this one is We All Need Something by Brimo. Stick around and keep it locked. 8:10, we go through the front pages of various Nigerian dailies. But in the meantime, Brimo taking it away.
Looking for someone to love. Won't you catch me, don't let me fall. I need a vision, give me a sign. I need attention, give me a time. I need a prophet, I need a God. I need a reason, I need you now. I like to stay, I need to go. I'm chasing shadows, nowhere to go. I need to fly high, above the sky. I need you now, now. You gon' need me later. He needs a fat purse, of course. She wants for better or for worse. Just this morning I realized we all need something. Why do you hate me? Why don't you care? Do you remember we used to share? Why do you fear? Why don't you dare? I still remember you had this flair. I miss my sisters, I hope they're fine. You miss your papa, that's why you cry. I need to meet them, you need to hold him. Like I need a new car, we all need Jesus. I need to fly high, above the sky. I need you now, now. You gon' to fight first. Of course, she wants for better, for worse. Just this morning, I realized we're only love. People need to know. People need each other. Together we will grow. Tell everyone to gather. The people need to know. We reflect each other. If the people stand as one, the people will be stronger.
Brimo doing We All Need Something, and this is still Melody Sunrise on Melody 100.7 FM. My name is Bolabad, and it is time to go through the front pages of various Nigerian dailies. The time is 8:11 from the studios, and per usual, I have with me this morning Nigerian Tribune, Vanguard newspaper, The Guardian newspaper, and The Punch newspaper this very morning. So we begin from the front page of The Punch newspaper. The first headline reads, States spend 455 billion naira to service foreign loans. And that story is on page 22 of The Punch newspaper this very morning. Nigeria slips on global corruption index. Stories on page 16 of The Punch newspaper this morning. We're about 36th right now, most corrupt nation in the world. It's not still something to be proud of, no? Okay. Anyway, this one says, Wike for Barako truce after Tinubu's move. And that story is on page 27 of the Punch newspaper this morning. United States deploys 200 troops to Nigeria. And that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Checking out the biggest headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, it says Electoral Act Amendment as the kicker. Opposition protests as senators back manual results transmission. Story has about 3 riders attached to it. First one says Upper Chamber appoint 12-member panel to harmonize bill with reps. And the one says Atiku Amechi El-Rufai chide lawmakers. And the final rider says Senate OK's electronic manual result transmission. And that story is on page 2 as well of Punch newspaper this morning. PDP crisis. That is the kick of this next headline. Appeal court orders harmonized briefs ahead of judgment. And that story can be found on page 7 of the Punch newspaper with pictures attached to it as well. Also, another headline says Army deploys special forces to Benue and Taraba, and that story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this very morning. Security guard hacked to death at Ogun Church altar, and that story is on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Pressure mounts on Bayelsa governor over choice of deputy, and that story is on page 16 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Now moving on to the front page of the Guardian newspaper. The first headline that I'll be taking reads, Nigeria spent 3.53 trillion importing raw materials locally available. And that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. LAC urges action as Nigeria dips in global corruption rates, and that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning as well. Court bars assure local government funds utilizing pending end of trial, and that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. INEC under spotlight as Senate shifts ground on e-transmission. Stories on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this very morning. There are pictures attached as well to that story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Russia denies report of Nigerian mercenaries killed in Ukraine war, and that story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. LASG seeks food, water vendors, others support in war against cholera, and the story is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Lagos, 12 other states experience longer rainfall in 2026, says NIMET. And that story is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. If you're checking or you want to check to see if your state is among page 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Academics rule selective implementation of 40 pay rise. And that story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper as well this morning. Zoning row court battles test opposition coercion ahead of 2027. And that story is on page 6 of Guardian newspaper this morning. Experts urge federal government to criminalize ransom payment to terrorists. And that story is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. That is a dicey one, a very, very dicey one, to say the least. Okay, now moving on from that newspaper to the front page of Vanguard newspaper this morning, we'll have the first headline reading: tax revenue jumps 30% to 28.3 trillion naira in 2025, and that story is on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. Tinubu has strengthened Nigeria's federalism, says Bagudu, and that story is on page 8 of Vanguard newspaper as well this morning. Federal government's ASO deal sparks outrage as only Unijos confirms payment. Stories on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning as well. Rivers crisis, that is the kick of this headline. Wike commits to peace, Lords Tinubu's intervention. Story has a rider says Fubara promises to fulfill Wike's wish. And that story is on page 15 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. The biggest headline on the front page of Vanguard says Electoral Act as the kicker. Rowdy session as Senate OK's conditional e-transmission of results. And that story has a handful of riders. First one says where electronic upload fails, result sheet will be used for collation results declaration. Another one says a 12-member conference as committee to harmonize bill with reps submit report by February 17th. Another one says Abaribe moves withdrawal motion. Withdraws a motion for division vote. And another one says Amechi leads son to occupy NAS protest ground. Another one says Electoral Act alteration threatens Nigeria's democracy. ACF warns. And the final rider says public pressure forced Senate reversal on e-transmission of results, says ADC. All of that can be found on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. Moving on from that to another headline. This one says Tinubu and I are parallel lines that will never meet, says El Rufai, and that story is on page 9 of Vanguard newspaper this morning as well. Atiku Makinde meets IBB in Mina, and that story is on page 40 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. Nigeria drops 2 places, ranks 142nd out of 182 countries in TI corruption index. And that story is on page 9 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. Quitting Chipper United was tough decision, Wabali says. And another story says Nigeria's GDP per capita once surpassed China, Malaysia when we ignored IMF. And that story, that statement is credited to Olawepo Ashim. Stories on page 40 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. CDS seeks urgent police civil defense overhaul as military warns of capacity limits, and that story is on page 42 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. Finally, checking out the front page of Nigerian Tribune, Atiku Makinde meets with IBB in Minna, and that story is on page 10 of Nigerian Tribune this morning. NSR gets 40.71 trillion naira revenue target for 2026, and that story has 2 riders attached to it. First one says surpasses 2025 target of 25.2 trillion naira, rakes in 28.3 trillion naira. Another one says Edun Adedeji Tegbe reiterate hope in new tax laws, and that story is on page 6 of Nigerian Tribune this morning. Tinubu has strengthened Nigeria's federalism, and that is a statement credited to Bagudu. Stories on page 27 of Nigerian Tribune this morning. This is last time Tinubu will intervene in Rivers political crisis, says Wike. Stories on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune this morning. Fubara inspects Port Harcourt Ring Road, targets October completion, and that story, as a writer says, praises predecessor's vision. Stories on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Senate OK's e-transmission of elections results, manual backup, and that story has two writers attached to it. That is the biggest headline on the front page of Nigerian Tribune this morning, by the way. First writer says increases members of conference committee, and the second writer says mixed transmission faulty, and that story is on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune this morning. So another headline, gunmen abduct 24 passengers in Kogi, Benue. Story has a writer, Coas, the COAS deploys special forces in Plateau, and that story is on page 26 of Nigerian Tribune this morning. Nigeria's foreign reserves hit $49 billion. Story has a writer, says CBN and CC propose suspension of airtime data sales during network outages. Stories on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune as well this morning. Checking out the health column, says afternoon naps can refresh brain, boost learning, according to study, and that story is on page 13 of Nigerian Tribune this morning. Local government funds, that is the kick of this headline. Osun Court bars bank from dealing with APC members parading as local government chairman, and that story is on page 10 of the Nigerian Tribune this very morning. Moving on from that headline to the final one I'll be taking on the front page of Nigerian Tribune this morning, says Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Kwara, 9 other states to have longer than normal rainy season, I beg your pardon, and that is a statement credited to NIMET, and that story is on page 4 of Nigerian Tribune this very morning. And that is as far as we can go, checking out the front pages of various Nigerian dailies this morning. The time is 8:22 a.m. from the studios, and it is time to head back to the music. But do not forget that by 8:30 the sports crew will be in the studios to take us through the exciting world of sport. But in the meantime, Burna Boy, Wizkid, Jah is love. Jah love is true, rather. Stick around and keep it locked.
Yeah, I thank God for my life. I've been through a lot and I swear don't make me believe. I thank God for His grace and all His blessings. Lord, I thank You and I praise You every day of my life. See, I don't hear bad things about me. Say, I've seen my nigga act so funny for money. Oh, them see I no go flow. Them see I just a joke. But look at me now and tell me guy who's Jonesy. Steady getting money, see I'm in my zone. They call me one this, one that, one now, one now. But I still get to me, Mama no shit. I went from me on that, no matter be a god, I'm too bad. Mama no shit. When them see me, they say that's wire. I make one nigga stand for wire. See, they got to know, they got to know, which I love.
They got me mixtape, one lap, not hunger. Day to day, Baba no shit for me. Run from me hunger, I'm not in Okada. Day to day, I no shit for me. When they see me, them say I can fire. Babylon and Powaya. But they got to know that love is true. Them a pray, them say me a target. Them say me can shine in a market. No, them never started. No, them never started. Cause I can burst, you can burst. Tell me what's the point if we both get hurt? Now you acting like you never knew my word. Babylon trying to cross my turn. What's a matter of now I'm standing out as a instead, they want me to be bossing my gun. Me just tell them to run. There is fire on the mountain. Them so biased, them the good town criers. Make me want to take out them teeth with pliers. Use gasoline to try put out tires. Never compare fresh air to air dryer.
They call me one this, one that, one now, one now. But I still get to me, Baba no shit. I went from me on that, no matter be a When them see me, they say that's why I make what niggas and for why see, they got to know, they got to know
They call me mixtape wonder, what up, Kotonga. Today, I know she pull me. Went from a Honda, I know we no Kada. Today, I know she pull me. When them see me, them say I do wire. Say Babylon and Kawaya. They got to know, that
they call me one this, one that, one now, one that. But that's today, my body shape. I went from the Honda, no more talking to God, I'm too bad. My body shape. When them see me, they say that's why I make what and for why see, they got to know, they got to know that love.
They call me mixtape wonder, what up, Kotonga. Today, I know she pull me. I know we no Kada. Today, I know she pull me. When them see me, them say I do wire. Say Babylon and Kawaya. They got to know, that love.
It's lyrics. Call the camera.
Melody.
It's okay.
100.7 FM.
G1 Kim's beat.
But yes.
Girl, I'm drowning in your love. So baby, take it on. I know with you no turning back. Girl, I said it all. I don't care what people say about you. Don't care if them ask for you from you. Because a good I told you before that I wanna go far with you. Doubting nothing mess up too. Hasamina, and if I want a baby from you, give me one, no fear. Girl, I just want you to this is for real. No go grief another man body wow. Baby, no go chop another woman no how. I'm feeling for you, baby, it's awakening my soul. I will love you till nobody else see what they won't do for you. Wow, yeah, you know go regret. Nothing gonna make me forget. Only you I know go to share. Cause you could run I told you before that I wanna go far with you. Doubting nothing mess up too. Hasamin na and if I want a baby from you, give me one, yes. Okay, like us all to this is for Shini go, Karami Hawalana.
Here's Daniel doing Duro, and we are back to it. It is 8:30 from the studios of Melody 100.7 FM, and you know, as I know it, that is it's time to talk sports. I have the sports seer in the studios with me this morning. A beautiful morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Bolabad.
How's it going?
Going good.
Uh-huh.
Football is delivering. Yesterday, Man United fan.
Yeah.
A particular Man United fan who's been waiting to barb his hair. You know, he's been waiting for when Man United will have 5 games on the bound so he can get his hair cut.
Oh.
And we thought yesterday
was going to
be the day for him. But it's really, really sad for the guy yesterday.
What? No, question. Why will any Manchester United put their faith inside the club?
That's what
not
the fans
on the
do.
club,
I mean,
in the club.
He has
inside
been there for
of the.
years I mean,
where you go and grow
they were very close, but yesterday definitely was not the day for them because not even until 96th minute before they got the equalizer against West Ham United yesterday.
It is crazy, isn't it?
Sincerely speaking, the fan was disappointed. Most of the players were disappointed.
What was now sport Bam Bam, Sha?
I mean, Bam Bam is one of the guys who's been, impressed with the performance of the new Michael Carrick-led side. So he felt, change has come finally. But after watching the performance yesterday against a low team, because on the table now, I think West Ham United is in the 18 or 17th place of the table. The way Man United performed against them yesterday was poor. They didn't get a draw until 96th minute. And that's very disappointing for many Manchester United fans.
Like we always do say, it is football, right? The only reason people are talking about it because it's Manchester United and all eyes are on them. There are days where are your good days, and there are days where could walk. It's not just working. So basically, I would actually want to cut them some slacks, just some slack, yeah. So basically, but we'll see how they perform moving forward, all right? But anyway, I'll be stepping aside now, and Sports here, I'll be telling you every single thing you need to know, about football and everything in between. It is time to talk sports, and you're welcome.
From deep in out. That's a smashing ball. It's Martins. Joseph Yobo, the Kubo. And it's just out to the phone. Single Odesi. Sensational. What a wonderful finish. That is the most embarrassing own goal. Oh, what a goal. And something out of nothing. He struck it sweetly. And does he ever score ordinary goals? They're all copybooks off.
Well, if you love the game, if you're committed to the sport, like Sports here does, you will know once it's 8:30 a.m. on the dot right here on Melody 100.7 FM. Then it's that time to go into the very exciting world of sport. Interesting stories today, and I got you covered. I'm yours nice and faithful Daniel Adeyemi. Your Sports here is here. More very interesting stories this morning. Where do I start from? Okay, let's start from home front. Where Wiki Tourist has finally come out to say, okay, confirmed, signed, sealed, delivered. The release official statement confirming an Acclon legend the resignation of the technical advisor, Mr. Abdul Makaiba. And Wikitoris release of statement that reads, Wikitoris Football Club hereby informs media houses, supporters, stakeholders, and of course general public that the club has officially received and acknowledged the resignation of the technical advisor Mr. Abdul Makaiber. The management appreciated his service and contributions to the club during his time with Wiki Tories FC and wishes him the success in his future endeavors. The club remains focused on its objectives and of course assures the fans, stakeholders and that necessary steps are being taken to ensure continuity, stability and progress within the team. And further update regarding the technical department will be communicated in due course. Visitors thanks its supporters, partners for their contributions and continued support and understanding. Signed, Management, Visitors Football Club, Bauchi State. End of the road right there. For Makaba and Wiki Tories. That's in the MPFL this morning. Well, this is also domestic league related as CAF endorsement came in, of course, yesterday. For quality delivery at FC Ebede Stadium. Workout endorsement highlights Olin Smith quality delivery at FC Ebede Stadium. Alan Smith Nigeria Limited has received strong commendation from Confederation of African Football (CAF) following an inspection of the FC Ebede Stadium in Shagamu, further reinforcing the company's standing as a leading sport facility construction firm in Nigeria. Now the positive assessment followed a visit last week by high-powered CAF delegation that inspected facilities at the stadium, which has been proposed by the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) as one of the venues for the final phase of the 2026 CAF African School Football Championship. Now the inspection was led by CAF officials, including Omar Hav, marketing and branding official Mohamed Amar, travel and logistics director Zakaria. And speaking on the outcome of the visit, Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of LMC Smith Limited, Joshua Adamo, expressed satisfaction with the feedback from CAF, describing it as a validation of the company's commitment to quality and excellence. Well, about the free agent, let's talk about the free agent, the man who left his club on the final day of the transfer window, who has since been jobless, who has since been without, of course, a club. And who are we talking about this morning? We're talking about Stanley Wabali, the Nigerian shortstopper. Free agent Wabali draws attention from clubs like Simba FC, Raja Casablanca, after leaving, of course, Chipo United. So African heavyweights, Simba FC of Tanzania and Morocco Raja Casablanca are reportedly monitoring Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Wabali following his departure from South African side, Chipo United. The 29-year-old goalkeeper is currently a free agent after mutually agreeing, of course, to terminate his contract with the Chile Boys. A development that has quickly attracted interest from some of the most prominent clubs. Well, right now, Stanley Wabali is the one everyone is talking about, especially on the continent of Africa, when Nigeria's number one shortstopper is not without a club. is without a club, then definitely people must stop running around. They must start running around and see how they can get a signature of Nigeria's number one. Now Super Eagles head coach Eric Shell this morning is speaking. He has called on he's called on CAF, the Competition of African Football CAF, to strictly adhere to rules in order to resolve the controversy surrounding the final of the African Cup of Nations AFCON in Morocco. The AFCON final, don't forget, continues to generate intense debate despite the ruling by CAF's disciplinary committee. Morocco have reportedly appealed the decision while Senegal accepted the verdict. The development has kept the controversy alive across the continent. Now Super Eagles head coach, speaking of course on the situation, Eric Shell stressed that the clarity and strict application of laws of the game are the only ways to restore credibility and end ongoing arguments. He said, and I quote, "What are the rules? I'm not taking side." That's Eric Shell speaking. He said, as a player, if I leave the field to go drink water on the bench, it's a yellow card. And when you deliberately leave, there is a penalty. So whatever happens, the decision have to be made. And to make them, you have to know the rules and apply them. That way, you can put end to all controversy. That's coming from the Super Eagles head coach. Eric Shell's reacting to the final of the AFCON right there in Morocco. Alright, to a lot of things that happened yesterday. Left, right, and center in the EPL. Even in the Coppa Italia actions yesterday. Goals everywhere. Believe me honestly, Manchester United fans, Chelsea fans, it seems to say they are brothers now. They are brothers now. They seem to be playing some copy and paste kind of tactics. Whatever you do, I'll do better. But the result will still be the same. Because yesterday, Manchester United fan, especially that particular fan, who for a long time now has of course made a vow that he will not cut his hair until Manchester United get to win 5 games on a bounce, came to West Ham game yesterday with all the clippers and all the scissors and all the razors and all the blades. Came to the Amas Stadium yesterday to get his haircut. Hoping Manchester United impressive form under the new manager Mikel Carrick will continue. But unfortunately, the case took another turn as Manchester United started from fighting to win to struggling to get a draw. Yesterday in the game between Manchester United and West Ham United at the Hammer Stadium in London, the game started. Man United were thinking, okay, this is what we will do. If we have stopped the likes of Manchester City, we have stopped Arsenal, we stopped Tottenham Hotspur. Who is you, oh thou West Ham United? What thou, oh West Ham? But the Hammers are saying, we are the Hammers and we respect nobody. When West Ham United got the lead, they tried to hold on to that until the 90 minutes. Then the referee, then the man came, lift up the board and gave 7 more minutes extra time. After the 7 more minutes extra time, Man United began to raise the gear. Said, okay, if we can't even get this guy to bob his head, let's at least get a point for ourselves. It's not about survival. If we can reach our significant goal, let's try to survive. And in the 90 plus 6 minutes, Benjamin Sesko came through for Manchester United. He always does. He came through, of course, yesterday in the 90 plus 6 minutes to rescue a point for Manchester United. And for Chelsea, it was more disappointing for them because in that game between Chelsea and Leeds United yesterday, Chelsea was a team to go front by 2 goals to 0 Thanks to goal from João Pedro and Cole Palmer gave Chelsea the 2 goals lead. And as the game went on and on, Chelsea went on to concede a penalty, well and coolly converted by Leeds United, and then they fought even further and further, and then they got the equalizer. Chelsea tried all they could, but eventually yesterday, the best result for Chelsea was the same Manchester United got. 1 point apiece between Chelsea and, of course, Leeds United. Fans are saying, like Chelsea, like Man United. Well, for Cole Palmer yesterday, in the last 5 games for Chelsea, in the last 2 games rather for Chelsea, he's got 5 goals and assists. And they're beginning to say Cole Palmer is back. And Chelsea manager, while reacting to the game yesterday, is saying, talking about the 94th minute miss of Cole Palmer. He missed a sitter yesterday. That was supposed to be a tap-in that should have given Chelsea maybe that win. But the manager reacting to that, and he's saying this morning, he said he is in position 999% out of 1,000 times he scores that goal. It was just one of that moment in football. And speaking further, Chelsea manager Leandro Zinnier is saying the boys will come to the training today, and all they are coming to do is to watch themselves. Some of these boys seems to actually see what they did yesterday. He said, I will make them sit down and I'll make them watch on the big screen how woefully they performed yesterday. And for Chelsea, starman Cole Palmer, 18 out of his 45 goals for Chelsea have all come from penalty spot. It's safe to call him Cole Palmer. Benjamin Sesko reacting to the game yesterday on Instagram. After the game between Manchester United and West Ham United, he made a post where he said, we keep fighting until the end. Every game, all together. And that's coming from the man who rescued a point for Manchester United yesterday, Cole Benjamin Sesko. And Wayne Rooney is in the news this morning as well. Former Manchester United player, the legend of the club, Wayne Rooney is in the news this morning. And what is he saying? He's reacting to the guy who refused to cut his hair and is made it like a curse upon Manchester United. And what is Wayne Rooney saying this morning? He said, I'll put him to the other side of the country. He's doing my head in. We're talking about Carrick and United trying to win their 5th game in a row, and the whole thing is about a guy getting his hair cut. I bet I'll be devastated if United win the 5th game because of all of a sudden, because of someone who needs to get a haircut. That is irrelevant to football, it's irrelevant to Manchester United, and the players and the managers should never be mentioned in this guy. Take the guy with the haircut away from it. Man United just want to get back to winning ways, and that's coming from Wayne Rooney. Well, Tottenham yesterday, don't forget, they still lost. They lost to Newcastle United yesterday by 2-1. And Tottenham Hotspur right now have 0 wins in the last 8th Premier League in 2026. Yes, they played a draw versus Brentford. They played a draw at Sunderland. They lost to Bournemouth. Lost to West Ham United. Played a draw at Burnley. Played a draw to Manchester City. They lost to Manchester United. And yesterday again, they lost, of course, to Newcastle United. Tragic situation for, of course, Tottenham Hotspur right there. And whoever is the manager there, Thomas Frank, what's your job? I'm between Olympique de Marseille and their manager, Roberto De Zerbi. It's safe to say it's over between them. It's over between Roberto De Zerbi and Olympique de Marseille. And don't forget, Roberto De Zerbi is one of the guys that has been linked with a move to Manchester United. Don't forget, the Man United manager at the moment is interim manager. Talk about Michael Carrick. And all of a sudden, after that draw yesterday, talks are beginning to grow again regarding getting a proper manager for Manchester United. I'm not sure Man United fans are lining up with that yet. So Michael Carrick reacting to that game yesterday, he said, "We are disappointed. We are in at our best for the game yesterday, and he wished the boys were better on the night yesterday." He said, "But this is one of those things in football. Sometimes you are good, and sometimes you were just not enough to get the team the point you needed." All right, let me give you the rest of the results of matches that were played yesterday in the English Premier League, because action still continues today. Someone is saying, what makes the English Premier League so special? You will know. With time, you will find out. For the matches that were played yesterday, the result of the games in the English Premier League. I told you about Chelsea playing a 2-2 draw at Leeds United. Bournemouth defeated Everton by 2-1. Tottenham, of course, lost it to Newcastle United by 2-1. Manchester United, of course, play a 1-1 draw at the Hammer Stadium. Well, interestingly, during the cruise show yesterday, Bam put me on the spot, asking me to make the predictions of some of this game. I predicted Chelsea to play 2-2 draw. I predicted Everton to lose, of course, to Bournemouth. I predicted Newcastle to defeat Tottenham Hotspur. But Man United is one I didn't see coming. I predicted Man United to win, but unfortunately it was a draw. And even in the Coppa Italia, I did predicted that Como will defeat Napoli. Well, it didn't happen because I said it's going to be a win or draw for Como, but the draw happened, and when the game went to penalty shootout, Como, of course, emerged victorious, knocking Napoli out of the Coppa Italia. Now straight to the games that will be taking place today in the English Premier League. By 8:30 p.m. today, Aston Villa will be taking on Brighton. The same time, Crystal Palace will be taking on Burnley. Manchester City at the same time will be taking on Fulham. Nottingham Forest will be taking on Wolves. And by 9:15, Never Walk Alone, Liverpool will be taking on, of course, Sunderland. Don't worry, when we come on the cruise show by 6 p.m., will be the time, the best time, to give in-depth analysis of all of those stories and much more. That's why you have to stick with Melody 100.7 FM, the real home of entertainment, where we put everything together for you, and all we do here is to put a smile on your face every time. No dull moment. I'll be, of course, stepping aside now for a bit of commercials, and after that, on the other side, Bolabad will be taking you on the rest of the show, which is the People's Assembly. I'm yours nice and faithful, Daniel Adeyemi. Don't forget, I'm committed to the game, and of course, so ready to go into the very exciting world of sport when we meet by 6 p.m. Bye for now.
Melody 100.7 FM.
Gbogbo èyí tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe ayẹyẹ ọlọ́kan-ò-jọ̀kan bíi wedding, concert, Church Crusade film premiere tẹ̀lílò indoor LED screen iléeṣẹ́ Gold Mender Media ló kájú ẹ̀ mo ti kú screen débí bá lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan léyìí tí ìbẹ́ ìtìtì náà fi ṣe dáadáa tí ó fi ṣàánú yàtọ̀ indoor LED screen tó múlẹ̀ rọ́kó so gbangba gidigba ṣe ìnílò screen fún sẹ́mínà yìí tó ń bọ̀ àbí fún anniversary yìí tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ṣe ẹ̀yà tara ṣẹ̀ṣàkẹ́ ìkọ̀sílẹ̀ iṣẹ́ Gold Mender Media lọ́dọ̀ wọn nìkan lẹ ti lè rí indoor LED screen tó fọkànbalẹ̀ tí ò ní ṣe bàlàbàlà sínú olùlẹ̀ yìí ti fẹ́ lò ní àgbórí field látòrí 100k ní rẹ́ńtéèjì wọn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀yà tara ṣàṣàkẹ́ máa bọ̀ sí ọ́fíìsì wọn tó wà ní road 1A olùsọjí avenue extension of WCCI road olúyọ̀lé Ìbàdàn tàbí ọ́fíìsì wọn tó wà ní number 28 Amadasu street ìlú ẹ̀fọ́ lẹ́kì etí òsà Lagos state telephone 0803-413-6370 tàbí 0912-188-5200 iléeṣẹ́ Gold Mender Media ló fi lọ́kàn balẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn screen ìgbàlódé fún ayẹyẹ tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe ẹgbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
pẹ̀lú Sling Fly ìrìnàjò rẹ̀ dìrọ̀rùn lọ́wọ́ kan.
Sling Fly iléeṣẹ́ tó ń kọ́ni ìrìn àjò lọ sílẹ̀ mímọ́ Jerusalem Jordan Europe àti gbogbo ibi tá a lè rí tọ́ka sínú Bíbélì. Sling Fly lọ́jọ́ tó ti ń fa àwọn èbó jẹun kò fọ́ mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ rí gbogbo ẹni fẹ́ rìnrìn àjò lọ sílẹ̀ mímọ́ Israel. Sling Fly ní kẹ́ ẹ fọkàn tán ẹ ó lọ ẹ bọ̀ pẹ̀lú jíjẹ àti mímu nírọ̀rùn. A journey to Jerusalem with Sling Fly a spiritual journey that is spirit filled. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n bá ní ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì lọ sí èyíkéyìí ìrìn àjò tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ lọ nílẹ̀ yìí tàbí lókè òkun local and international flights. kò sì sí ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ lọ tí Sling Fly ò ní bá yín ṣe nírọ̀rùn. General tour services wọ́n bá ní ṣe visa lọ sí èyíkéyìí orílẹ̀-èdè tó bá wù yín. ìjánu lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn gbogbo èyí tẹ̀sí fẹ́ kàwé lókè òkun. Sling Fly lọ́nà àbáyọ kan tó dájú. olú iléeṣẹ́ Sling Fly wà ní second and third floor Rẹ̀mílẹ́kún house ládojúkọ Adamasingba stadium Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn. fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé ẹ pè 07046700043 tàbí 09162088000. Sling Fly breaking limits.
ará ilé ìrọ̀nà gbogbo ewé kan dé.
àtúntò arére ìwé ìròyìn Yorùbá Tòótọ́ agbẹnusọ ọmọkàrọ̀ òjíire tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí tó ti jáde kàṣàgbùà. ọ̀nà dé ẹgbẹ́ ohun tó bí àwọn àfẹ̀míṣòfò nínú tí wọ́n fi pààyàn rẹpẹtẹ ní wọ́rọ́ ẹni tí wọ́n fẹ̀sùn ọ̀dàlẹ̀ kan rèé. wọ́n ní káwọn ará Òkè Ògùn àti Ọ̀ṣun lọ múra àtúnṣe òfin ìdìbò. gbajúmọ̀ olóṣèlú kọ lẹ́tà sí Tinubu wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ fi ìwọ́de gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀. Ọlọ́run o olórin ẹ̀mí àtàwọn ọmọọṣẹ́ rẹ̀ mẹ́ta kú lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ òde eré ni wọ́n kú sí. àjálù èyí lohun tó kọ́ báǹtì ajára onítíátà tó fi kú làwọn èèyàn máa ń ṣẹ́gbẹ̀ fẹ́ni tó fún un lóyún. wàhálà ń bọ̀ àwẹ̀ Ramadan ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ dìjà láàrin àwọn mùsùlùmí. ìpàdé Sheikh Habib àtàwọn àfáà ló di wàhálà. ó tán òkúnnú onítíátà pariwo lásìkò gbajúmọ̀ mákẹ́tà síta olólu òun ní jìbìtì. ó ga o èyí nìdí táwọn ọlọ́pàá fi lu ìjọba làǹdẹ̀ lálùbami. ó tún pàdánù owó àti fóònù olówó ńlá. gbogbo rẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀ka gbádùn nínú ìwé ìròyìn Yorùbá Tòótọ́ tọ̀sẹ̀ yìí. ó ti wà káàkiri gbogbo fẹ́ńdọ̀ irinwó náírà péré ni bèrè fún tiẹ̀ o.
Ramadan oṣù alápọ̀lé oṣù abiyì wọlé dé wẹ́rẹ́ alhamdulillah.
àkàlẹ̀ mọ́fàlejò tó fẹ́ wọlé tó bá ń bọ̀ wá bí kò máa wọlé tó bá wọlé tán bí kò máa jáde ní mọ́rí àbá àbí
gbogbo mùsùlùmí lọ́kùnrin àti lóbìnrin a kú àmójúbà oṣù Ramadan oṣù tá a ti ṣiṣẹ́ olóore kékeré gbà ńlá oṣù yọ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ láti má jẹ́ kí oríire tí ń bẹ nínú oṣù yóò fò wá rù. ẹ wá ṣiṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run Allah nípasẹ̀ ṣíṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ ọ̀kan òjọ̀kọ̀ ètò tá a ti là kalẹ̀ fún yín ní ìkànnì Melody 100.7 FM Ìbàdàn kẹ́ẹ̀sì gbáàdì pẹ̀lẹ́ rẹ̀. ẹ wá ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ àwọn ètò bíi wáàsí àwẹ̀ ìrun pípé tafsir àyọkà láti náà Qur'an sàrìtìyà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. ẹ wá dá sí tọ́lọ́run kẹ́ ẹ lè gba òkú orin láyé àti lálùkìyámọ̀. fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ tàbí láti ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ ẹ pè alága ìgbìmọ̀ Ramadan iléeṣẹ́ Melody FM Hajj Kamal Usama sórí 0803-513-2586 àti Mikael Adébọlá Ọmọtọ́ṣọ́ sórí 0803-284-9194 tàbí kẹ́ẹ̀kan sí iléeṣẹ́ wa tó wà ní Melody House ojúlé kejì má pàdé òrùngbòde wá sinmi bá ṣorun Ìbàdàn Ramadan Kareem.
tó fẹ́ wọlé ó bá ń bọ̀ wá bí kò máa wọlé ó bá wọlé tán bí kò má ṣe jáde.
Kunle, Abba, don't be stingy now. Why enjoy your refreshing drink alone? See as my throat dey move.
I think say na only me o. See as I dey salivate as I dey drink am.
Omo, na raw premium water I drink na. But man, this raw premium water no be like all other water we I don everly drink for my life. The water good so tey you go drink am like say e pass ordinary water. Then process raw water to premium quality. Your mouth sef go feel am. Refreshment nko. As you dey drink raw premium water na so your body go just dey cool. Even the packaging na premium packaging. Oya, you sef taste am make you see how e be.
Do you want to finish it? Rock Premium Water is pure, safe, healthy and refreshing, keeping you hydrated and helps your body to function well.
From Melody 100.7 FM, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. The time is 9 a.m.
That green, my own me. It's time to share some accusation. Now me, Dr. Fry's about to go insane once again. Now me, Mr. Free Entertainment, baby. Yeah, one now. What it do? Let's go.
Every time I win, I go back to prison. They make me ready, they wake me up. All the good things you do for me, I'm happy now. Waiting I go do, I'm gonna have to thank you, Lord. Thank God, 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 thank God.
Hey, I'm a bad fake key. Now I'm a jepaki, but what did they know pataki? Carry be life, me shake change. But you have to 1,000 naira rap blades, no drop change. If you let my thoughts real quick, call it shorty ray. Mobo Jew alone, kini mori ray. If you let it down, I write 30 console. If you know really, Timo feel will control. And you're shady for long to be, along to go shushu, or with the shit to make a look be. Same all on we know, no shit tell koya. Along job, anywhere, your magic out fire. Simba fe one new yara you tell it, and my nick with drone now. Munjama lani see, motivate to a no. I'm alone in me, you on trip, fresh you. They should buy the package, man. Oh my, I need just to.
Every time I win, I go back to prison. They make me ready, they wake me up. All the good things you do for me, I'm happy now. Waiting I go do, I'm gonna have to thank you, Lord. Thank God, 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 thank God.
Yes, what is jalebi? Dear local when you summary me about it on your brain. Nigga to mon kiri, only answer to me. Very low mommy menacing along to your me. Mom coming in to let you know how I'm feeling. What is your break? I'm a bang of koya feeling. Man, you can not just timbari, got him. I got timbari, a jam, did the ramu. The baby make tell it what was she one show. Mudu kwela along with this same level, make it deal. And it took my Timo so to see so far. To perfect the color, my party will be woofa. Every time I'm alone, so the concern can come. Bonnie, every moment, boom, plan in Hong Kong. What you wear, repayment to Jenny Jeppe. The family to the little crap, who are by me champagne.
Every time I win, I go back to prison. They make me ready, they wake me up. All the good things you do for me, I'm happy now. Waiting I go do, I'm gonna have to thank you, Lord. Thank God.
Green and Omawumi on the song Thank God of the album CEO that dropped in the year 2007 now. Alright, now so we're here, that'll be 2009. Yeah. That song dropped, or that album dropped in the year 2009. So we're back to it. It is 4 minutes past 9 a.m. from the studios of Melody 100.7 FM. My name is Bolabad, and it is still Melody Sunrise. We're now inside of the People's Assembly, because it's 4 minutes past 9 a.m. And you know that once it is 9 a.m., the People's Assembly commences. And so Assembly is in session right now. And basically, if you're listening for the first time and you're wondering what People's Assembly is, it's a segment on Melody Sunrise that airs every weekday from Monday through to Friday, where we get to talk about serious issues going on in the country and everything in between. Okay, so basically today we'll be talking about something very important, something that I would actually need your 2 cents on. Yeah, basically as every day. So People's Assembly is a parliament setting where for every parliament, there is always a Speaker of the House and an honorables of the House. So for today, I'll be serving in the capacity of the Honorable Speaker of the House, and you, on the other hand, will be serving as the Honorable of the House, where you get to, call in and we would delegate on the issue at hand or the matters at hand, basically. So I'll be opening the studio lines, aka the floor, for you to contribute and drop your 2 cents concerning the topic at hand while I bring the topic and I discuss it. Okay, yesterday we were talking about budgets, but we talked about it in passing, right? The budget for this year. And today we focused on the budget for last year, where we talked about the allocation to the Ministry of Health and how the Minister of Health is saying that Eliu, I did not get money out of the 218 million that was allocated to us. We only got 36 million, 218 billion. We got 26 million, and a lot of people have said, a lot of people called in. We had a lot of conversation around that topic yesterday. But there's something that I mentioned yesterday in passing about the deficit of the 2026 budget. Yeah, the deficit of the 2026 budget, and how we might be borrowing fresh loans. Okay, I said on the journal page yesterday, they reported the story as Nigeria eyes 25.27 trillion naira budget loan rather, as 2026 budget is in deficit. I'll take that again. It says Nigeria eyes 25.27 trillion deficit as 2026 budget looms. And a lot of people have actually been saying that, oh my God, we're borrowing again. Can't the, what's the code now? Can't the Senate do something about it? Can't they just say no more borrowings? We heard that back to back last year, saying that, we're not going to borrow again and all of that. But it seems now that we might be tilting towards that side where we might be borrowing again. So now the Senate has actually come out and they defended and justified the intending borrowing, or should I say the deficit that is in the budget, saying that borrowing is unavoidable. And for Nigeria, we have to fund this thing now. We have to fund this budget, and we don't have the money. So how do we do this? We will borrow. And then they've justified it again. Now, the 2026 national budget says that Senate justifies the 25.91 trillion naira budget deficit, saying borrowing is unavoidable to fund spending. Okay, the Senate has defended the federal government's 25.91 trillion deficit for 2026 budget, saying borrowing is necessary to fund the 58.47 trillion naira appropriation bill amid revenue shortfalls. Now, Senator Solomon Adiola, who happens to be the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, stressed that the focus should be on how deficits are funded. right? We should focus on how they are funded and utilized, with projected revenue of 33.19 trillion naira and total expenditure of 58.47 trillion naira. He called for stricter fiscal discipline, revenue expansion, and asset optimization. He also insisted that electricity subsidies must end to free resources for development. Now, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, represented by the Deputy Senate President, Barau Jibrin, described the 2026 budget as a moral test, urging that allocation translate into tangible benefit for Nigerians. And also the Accountant General, that is Shamsiuddin Olujimi, and fiscal expert Dr. Olatilewa Adebajo called for impact-focused budgeting and strict enforcement of Fiscal Responsibility Act to curb revenue leakages. But long story short, the Senate is actually justifying the deficit, saying that borrowing is, unavoidable. Vanguard actually reported it, saying Nigeria will continue borrowing to fund 25.91 trillion budget deficits, according to the Senate. Now, taking the story from Vanguard, it said it's also vowed to end the long-standing practices of rolling over unimplemented budgets, warning ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, to brace up for stricter scrutiny. Okay, so you don't collect money and come here and be telling a cock and bull story. All right, now the Senate equally declared that the National Assembly would no longer approve extension of budget implementation cycles, emphasizing that strict timelines, stronger oversight, and improved fiscal disciplines will guide the execution of the 2026 Appropriation Act. Now, speaking at the hearing on the 2026 Appropriation Bill organized by the Senate Committee on Appropriations, the chairman of the committee, Senator Olalekan Adeola, APC Ogun West, noted that borrowing has become unavoidable, given that the country's revenue constraint and huge development needs is, they are weighing really, really high, right? He said, never again will the National Assembly approve budget extensions. We must discipline our budgeting cycle, enforce strict adherence to appropriation timelines, and assure better coordination between policy design and implementation. He also noted that though public opposition to borrowing has continued, Nigeria's infrastructure gap and development challenges has left the government with little choice, stressing that the real issue was not borrowing itself, but how deficits were financed. He said, Nigeria cannot help but keep borrowing. Because why? Revenue inflows are unpredictable, and development needs are very, very enormous. So what matters is how we borrow, and how we fund our deficit. That was what I said. We have to focus on how we borrow and how we spend this money. He said Nigeria must honor its obligation to protect its credit rating. And how do we protect it if we don't keep borrowing and repaying? That is how we, for people that are business people, that, you borrow, you take loans, you understand these things, right? So I think that, to avoid crowding out private sector credit, like just someone is saying that the subsidy must end, while some people are saying that just privatize the power sector for it to be better, open it up for investors to come in and invest, just how Dangote actually has invested in the oil sector and all of that. But before we do all of that, Nigeria must honor its obligation to protect its credit rating and international standing. I think that to avoid crowding out private sector credit, a government was deliberately limiting domestic borrowing and exploring alternatives such as asset optimization, privatization, public-private partnership, PPPs, and joint venture asset leveraging and Eurobond issuance as well. Says government is deliberately intentionally avoiding excessive domestic borrowings that could crowd out private sector credit. So instead, we're exploring external financing, asset sales, and privatization to bridge revenue gaps, he said. Now, on the 2026 budget, estimated at 58.47 trillion naira, Adeola actually described it as a budget of consolidation anchored on subsidy removal, tax reforms, public finance restructuring, and electricity sector reforms. He then warned that the success of the budget would depend on effective implementation and people-centered outcomes. So the lawmakers disclosed that projected revenue stood at 33.19 trillion naira, leaving a deficit of about 25.27 trillion naira. But we have to borrow 25.91 sha. So according to him, debt servicing is estimated at 15.90 trillion, which is still fair, right? So while capital expenditure is about 23.21 trillion naira. So the long story short, again, from this is saying that we have to borrow. We will keep borrowing because we have things to do. Right, we have to, and all of these things that we have even spent, it reflects the government's focus on infrastructure and productivity. Adela then warned ministries and MDAs to take budget defense seriously, noting that failure to justify proposals could actually lead to reallocation. We will give your money to somebody else. If you come to present your defense, you are coming for defense, you are not prepared, we will give the money to somebody else that needs it and that comes prepared. He also reaffirmed that all government funds, including service-wide vote, remain subject to legislative oversight. And on his part, an economist and fiscal policy expert, Dr. Olatilewa Adebanjo, who warned that Nigeria's rising budget deficit could become sustainable without urgent reforms in revenue, mobilization, and fiscal disciplines. However, he called for a comprehensive review and stricter enforcement of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, that is the FRA, describing it as potent, as a potent but unutilized law. He said, we need to remain alert and proactive. All stakeholders must closely monitor critical sectors to ensure revenues meant for government actually get to the government's purse. Okay, the economist who raised the concerns about the mining and solid mineral sector, alleging massive revenue leakages, saying that some people are collecting money and not remitting it, accused foreign interests, especially Chinese firms, of extracting Nigeria's resources with minimal remittance, benefit to the country as well. Says Debanjo also criticized that what he described as an unrealistic revenue projection, urging government to base budgets on achievable figures and hold revenue generating agencies accountable for performance, like the tax, federal inland revenue, And in his remark, the Accountant General of the Federation, AGF Samsudeen Ogujimi, took a swipe at the country's budgeting system, saying for too long, Nigeria has been strong on budget formulation but weak on translation. Ogujimi said the budget is not a spreadsheet. I mean, it is not a ritual of numbers. It is not merely an annual legal requirement. So we have to be more. We have to do more and be more, proactive and be realistic when we're budgeting. But long story short, the Senate is saying Nigeria will continue to borrow. There is nothing we can do about it. Nigeria will continue borrowing to fund the 25.91 trillion naira budget deficit. And this is where we're going this morning. From what we discussed yesterday, out of 218 billion naira that was allocated to the health ministry, for instance, and just 36 million was given out, which was not up to half of a billion naira. So let's just even say it is 1 billion naira. So we have 217 billion naira still out there for a 2025 budget year, and we have this 25.91 trillion naira that we want to budget. We want to go and borrow again. So if all of other ministries come out to say that, oh, we didn't get this amount, we didn't get, why are we borrowing? That is the question a lot of people are asking. Why exactly are we budgeting more than we can afford? Basically, why can't we do with what we have as a country? Basically, we have about 33 plus trillion naira, but it is shortfall of 20. So why are we over budgeting? Why are we always quick to want to go and borrow? Let me know what your take is this morning. I'm opening the studio lines 07055 071 007 or 07025201007. That is 07055071007 or 07025201007. Hello, good morning, Honorable. Hello, good morning. Good to have you on the show this morning, Honorable Folashade. Let's have your take.
These people will just continue to be people. Because from my own perspective, I think these people are just deceiving us. Because this money they've been borrowing since years, for years now, you've not seen the reflections of this money on our economy. Even I could remember when they said they want to remove the first subsidy, the president was like, we should let them remove the subsidy, that they are not going to borrow money again. After that, they borrow millions of naira. So these people are just deceiving us. They are borrowing this money for their own personal use. That's my own perspective. Because the ones they've been borrowing all this life, not see the reflection of it on our economy. So these people are just deceiving us every now and then. So I pray we Nigerians, I pray that we wise up and be careful very well for the people that will be that work.
Thank you so much, Honorable Folashade. 07055071007 or 07025201007. Hello, good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker.
Good morning, Honorable Yewale. How is it going?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, good to have you on the show this morning. Let's have your take.
Anyway, when are we going to have a surplus budget in Nigeria? Almost all the time, we do have deficit budget. Every year. To me, anyway, budget is a means, if I want to try to, it's a means of cutting away money or looting the purse of any organization budgeting. Because there is no way you will make budget or do budget that you will not want to even meet up with that amount of that budget, even if it is looking at the met of budget. Now we are having the deficit budget. The amount that's being budgeted for, what have they done with it? What is that thing that we can point to that this budget for this? So, see, the health workers, they are on strike, part of them, if they've resumed. Because the budget for health workers by the Ministry of Health, have they utilized it fully? Now, they are saying we are having deficit budget. Based on that, they say they want to go and borrow again. For what? To meet up with that deficit budget. So they are the one killing the economy of our nation. Because if they use that budget, the money budgeted for it, use it rightly, the economy is supposed to improve. They say, they will tell us, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do this, do that. On that budget, they will itemize it. That is what we want to do, this is what we want to do. But look for that thing that they itemize. They will not do that. Instead, at the end of the year, they will be looking for how much left. They will not share it among themselves. Now, they will not say, okay, the budget given to us for this year is not enough for us to do what we want to do. So, based on that, we are having deficit. We have a lot to cover. So, we need more money. So, with that, God will save Nigeria.
Amen. Amen.
And God will pass through this country.
Amen. Thank you so much, Honorable Iwale, for your take. All right. Have a great day ahead of you. 07055071007 or 07025201007. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, Honorable?
Yes, ma. Honorable Ruth calling from Alacha.
Good to have you on the show this morning. Let's have your take.
Thank you, ma. You know, some countries do borrow money for their growth. Yes, because borrowing is not bad. But in a country like Nigeria, that we just keep borrowing, but nothing to show for it. Because we are not producing locally. Yes, we just keep borrowing money for something that is not even generating money back. So they just keep borrowing and nothing to show for it again. Please, I send this government, think outside the box on how we can generate money, not how we keep spending without nothing. Yes, that's how we can get it right. That's how we keep employing with Nigerians. That come 2027, we should be wise. Because we can't continue with this government that just keep borrowing and turn Nigeria into debt. It is really bad. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Honorable. 07055 071 007 or 07025 007. I lost that call. Please do call me back. You can also head to Facebook and drop your comment. It is at Melody 100.7 FM on Facebook. That is Melody 100.7 FM on Facebook. You can also send messages, to me via those lines or via WhatsApp as well. Let's hold our thoughts. Hello, good morning, Honorable.
And with all the effects or the steps that the federal government has been taking, I don't expect that they will come up with such news again that they are going to borrow to refund a loan or to sort a loan. So for me, it is a no-no. It is a no-no. Budget with something that they should be able to work on what the fund we have in the treasury. Then they should be able to work on that to do whatever they want to do in the nation. But if they are now coming to tell us that they are going to borrow to sort the budget and then to also sort loan, it's a no-no. So they should do the needful because we are being taxed now. See different tax policies that they are coming up with recently, even the one that this electronic, that's the e-banking we are doing. They still charge us extra, even more than we expect. So now, with all that they get from there, the subsidies and every other sector, even power sector, yes, they still come up to tell us funny things. So I think they should use our money judiciously in the nation and not for them to come and be telling us funny things, and at the end of the day they look our money for us. We don't want that anymore.
Thank you so much, Honorable Damala. Have a great day. That is honorable. Okay, 07055 071 007 or 07025 007. Call me up or send messages. Let me know what your take is this morning concerning the conversation at hand. If you're just tuning in, this is the People's Assembly on Melody 100.7 FM, and we are talking about the budget and the deficit of the budget and how the Senate has actually justified, us borrowing again to fund the 2026 budget. And the Senate is saying Nigeria will continue borrowing to fund the 25.91 trillion naira budget deficit because, we have to keep our credit score, up to par, so to say. 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Akorede Omoyaliso is saying hi. Good morning to you. Adewumi Kazim Adikaz says good morning, well done from New Garage. Thank you so much for your comments. You can head to Facebook. We're live on Facebook at Melody 100.7 FM. That is Melody 100.7 FM on Facebook. You can drop your comments right there and I'll be here to take your comment. What do you think? Should Nigeria still be borrowing? When are we going to have a surplus budget and not a deficit one? And have we even checked if all the ministries that were allocated money for the 2025 budget actually got the entire money? Because we had the health ministry the health minister coming out to talk about how out of 218 billion naira allocated to the ministry, they got just 36 million naira, which is not even up to $500 million, because $500 million is about 500 million, no? So what do you think that we can do outside of, let us generate funds? Should we track the previous year's budget? Did the entire money go out? We should be asking that question or not? Should we be asking the said question or not? 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Hello, good morning, Honorable.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Honorable Adamlala calling from Ojo constituency.
Good to have you on the show this morning. Let's have your take.
Thank you. I have a question. Please, all the tax we're paying, all our taxes, is where Where are they? Where is our government investing them? Because the rate at which this government borrows is alarming. Why? And the truth is, this money, we cannot even feel it in our economy. Nobody is feeling it. Maybe those at the top are feeling it. But those of us here, we are not even feeling the effect of the money being borrowed. So what exactly are they using the money for? Like I said yesterday, I hope they won't use our generation of born to borrow money. Which country are they even borrowing for? So that we can go and start learning their language. So that by the time they tell us of us, we'll be able to so that we'll be able to speak their language. This APC-led administration that's brought poverty to a whole lot of Nigerians. And I tell people, like I used to say, I hope we are wise now. So that next election, we will speak with our votes. We are tired of this kind of life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Damilola, for calling 07055071007 or 07025201007. The Senate is justifying, the budget deficit, and they're saying Nigeria will continue to borrow to fund the 2026 budget, when there are lots of questions concerning the 2025 budget and how they've been spent, and were they even spent, or was the money spent? Did all the ministry actually get their allocated funds? Should we review that first before because a lot of ministry did not say anything until the Ministry of Health actually came out, the Minister of Health that came out yesterday on Monday to talk about how out of 218 billion naira allocated to them, they got just 36 million naira. That has actually set a lot of rancor and a lot of reactions across board. And now we're saying we want to go and borrow 25.91 trillion naira to fund the deficit of the 2026 budget. Should Nigerians clamor for change? Should they say, let us review the previous year's budget? Or should we just go about our day and all of that? Call me up or send messages. Drop your comments on Facebook 07055071007 or 07025201007. It is Melody 100.7 FM on Facebook. You can drop your comment right there and I'll be taking your comment. Or you can send messages on WhatsApp or via SMS. For the WhatsApp line, it is 07055 071-007 07055-071-007 for the WhatsApp line. You can also call that number or send me an SMS via that same number, or just call me or send messages to 07025-201-007. We're talking about our budget deficit for the 2026 fiscal year, and should we still borrow? Why can't we make do with what we have? Why are we borrowing still? 07055-071-007. This one is from Martin Uke, says, wonderful. Budget every year with no changes sin. At least fix one of our major problems. 07055-071-007 or 07025-201-007. 07055-071-007 or 07025-201-007. Call me up, send messages, drop your comments on Facebook. Let me have your take this morning. The Senate is justifying the 25.91 trillion naira budget deficit, says borrowing is unavoidable to fund spending. What do you make of this statement? What do you make of this entire situation? 07055 071-007. We'll have about 2 more minutes and then we'll wrap up the conversation this morning. 07055 071-007 or 07025 201-007. 070. Okay. This message is from Raphael. Says, I thought they said if they remove fuel subsidy, borrowing will stop. Okay. 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Call me up or send messages. Hello, good morning, Honorable.
Hello, good morning. This is Bumi Adefusi calling from Apata.
Good morning. Let's have your take this morning, Honorable.
The reason why we always have budget deficit because we don't always plan properly. And in country whereby that lacks data, definitely such country will be having issue in terms of budget. Because if you are targeting one particular area, you don't know their population. You are just assuming that Nigeria is over 200
million people.
That figure is not accurate. Because we are just guessing that Nigeria should be about over 200 million.
There was a census that was done recently now.
How can you plan towards the people that does not have their figures at all? So that is the problem. And it is very unfortunate that at this stage of Nigeria, we don't have proper planning. We don't know how to put things in place, whereby we don't have a real document of the act of all citizens in this country, which is very unfortunate. In developed countries, they don't plan the way we used to plan. They don't come up with their budget we used to. They will plan ahead. Even we plan ahead of 2030, whereby this country they call Asia country, like Dubai now, they are planning towards 2030 now. But Nigeria rather is still struggling about 2025, 2026 towards 2027 budget. This is not supposed to be. Are we going or we are stagnant in this country? Just do things the same way, normal thing as usual. Repetition all the time. Repetition. The last year budget will replicate will be the one that be a guide for the 2026-2027 budget, which is not supposed to be. As time progresses, as time goes on, definitely we should progress as well. That's my submission. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Prince. Thank you so much for your take. 07055071007 or 07025201007. Call me up or send messages. Austin Martin on Facebook says, good morning, Bolabad, doing a good job. Thank you very much for your comment. 07055 071-007 or 07025201007. If you're wondering how you can actually drop your comment, it is at Melody 100.7 FM on Facebook. That is Melody 100.7 FM on Facebook. 07055 071-007 or 07025 201-007. We're talking about the budget deficit and about how the Senate is saying Nigeria will continue to borrow to fund the deficit of about 25.91 trillion naira, and a lot of people have had a lot to say about this. What do you think? Should we still be borrowing to fund our budget? We have out of 58.47 trillion naira, we have 33.19 trillion, but which is actually leaving a deficit of 25.27 trillion naira. But so we have to borrow. Do we have to? Are we budgeting towards the right path? It's just like one honorable said earlier, that we are borrowing to fund projects that will not give us money. So how are we supposed to generate funds? Also, the Senate, one of the senators is saying that, we have to focus on sectors also that don't remit money back to the coffers of the federal government. I mean, he mentioned the mining sector, where the Chinese miners actually mine and don't necessarily remit properly to the, to the, what's it called now, to the purse of the government. So what do you take? What is your take on this, or what do you think? 07055 071 007 or 07025201007, 07055 071 007 or 07025201007. At this time and age, should we still be borrowing to fund our budget in Nigeria? 07055 071 007, 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Call me up or send messages. Let me know where your take is this morning. You can text me via WhatsApp. The WhatsApp line is 07055 071 007 07055 071 007. One more minute and then we'll wrap up the conversation for today. 07055 071 007 07025 201 007. I would love to tell you that once we wrap up the segment, it'll be time for Melody Surprise by 9:45, where I get to wish someone on your behalf and celebrate the person for and with you. If you have someone you want to celebrate, by all means, now is the time to send me a text message via either of the studio lines, 07025 201 007 or 07055 071 007, to tell me their name, their phone numbers, and also what you're celebrating them for, and let me know your name as well so I can tell them that you sent me. Send all of those as a text message or send me a message via WhatsApp, and I'll be here to celebrate them for you and with you. So I'll be heading back to the music now. We're done with the People's Assembly. A big thank you to every single person that called, texted, dropped comments on Facebook. Thank you so much. And this one is Earth Song by the late Michael Jackson. Stick around and keep it locked.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fears? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore?
Michael Jackson with the Earth song right there, and we are here. I'm still very much here in the studios, and I hope that you're still very much there also on the other end of the radio. 9:45 a.m. from the studios, and it's time to do Melody Surprise, where I get to celebrate someone. I'm always excited when I get a message, and this one is from Austin Martin. Said, "Good morning, Madam Bolabad. I'm Austin Martin. Please, I want you to tell my wife, Austin Omoye, that I love her. Today is a birthday, and it dropped a number." So we're just going to put a call through to Austin Martin's wife and wish her a happy birthday. Let's do that, shall we? Hello? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ma. Is this Austin Omoye, please? Mrs. Austin Omoye on the line?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Bolabad, and I'm calling you from Melody 100.7 FM. So a friend of yours asked me to call you, or told me to call you that today is your birthday and wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you're very much welcome. Do you know any friend of yours that would have called a radio station to say to call you?
It's my husband. It's my husband.
Your husband? You're 100% sure?
It's my husband.
100%. Are you sure?
Yeah.
What is your husband's name?
I don't have friends like that in here.
Oh, so what is your husband's name?
Austin Martin.
Austin Martin. Anyway, Mr. Austin told me to call you and tell you that he loves you so much, and wishes nothing but greatness for you today being your day, and to wish you a happy birthday. You're very much welcome. Do have a great day and a great celebration. I can hear celebration going on in the background. So have a wonderful one and have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
You're very much welcome. Bye. All right. Okay. That'll be it. 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Send messages. All you have to do is text me the person's name, their phone number, and what you're celebrating them for, and your name as well, so I can actually tell them that you sent me. 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. 07055 071 007 07025 201 007. Call me. Sorry, not calls. Text me now. Text me and let me know that person that you want to celebrate today, and I'll be here to celebrate them with and for you. 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. I leave the studios by 9:55. It is 9:49 from the studios right now. So if you want me to call someone for you, now is the time to tell me to. Okay, 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Text messages only or WhatsApp text only. The WhatsApp line is 07055 071 007. Ed Sheeran, Castle on the Hill. Stick around.
When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. I was running from my brother and his friends, and tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart, broke it, made friends and lost them through the years. And I've not seen the boring fields in so long. I know I've gone, but I can't wait to go home. I'm along with my friends. Had my first kiss on a Friday night. I don't reckon that I did it right, but I was younger then. Take me back to when we found weekend jobs, when we got paid. We buy cheap spirits and drink them straight. Me and my friends have not thrown up in so long. Oh, how we've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real when we watch the sunset over the castle lonely. One friend left to sew clothes, one works down by the coast, one had 2 kids but lives alone, one's brother overdosed, one's already on his second wife, one's just barely getting by, but these people raised me and I can't wait to go home. Now I'm on my way. I still remember these old country lanes when we did not know the answers, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real when we watch the sunset over the castle lonely.
Ed Sheeran, Castle on the Hill, and that is it. It has been an amazing time on the show this morning, 9:53 a.m. from the studios of Melody 100.7 FM. Mr. Austin sent, a follow-up message, says, thank you so much. This goes a long way. Melody is the best. We love you guys. We love you too. Thank you so very much, actually, for asking me to share, or share, say, yeah, allowing me share in your beautiful day as well. Okay, so big thank you to every single person that contributed to the show this morning. Thank you to every single person that called in, sent messages, dropped comments on Facebook. Thank you so much. Melody Sunrise returns tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 9:55, but will be finest at the Elms of Affairs tomorrow, but I'll be returning on Friday at 8 a.m. to 9:55 a.m. But the conversation doesn't end here. Follow us across all socials at Melody 100.7 FM. For me, it is at Bolabad across all socials. Till tomorrow when Melody Sunrise returns, until Friday that I return to your airwaves. Have a great day ahead and an amazing day ahead. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Fireball DML coming through with Vibration. Bye for now.
See what you carry. No money in the money. Make a body gonna want. Give it to me sharply. Don't say from me, Tyler, mommy, I could do this all my long. Don't carry me the girl, carry over, anything they had.
100.7 FM. Ìkànnì tó kọjá rẹ́kẹrẹ́kẹ́. Melody FM Ìbàdàn.
ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn ìròyìn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ àgbàyanu ní ìwé mímọ́ bíbélì sọ nípa ẹ̀. kò sí nǹkan tó dùn tó ká fojú gan ní ibùdó tírú ẹ̀ ti wáyé. ká lè wá dá àwọn ibùdó yìí gbàgbà sí àdúrà. níjọ Christ Apostolic Church àgbàlá ìtura DCC headquarters pẹ̀lú ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ You Fit Fly ṣe ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ìrìnàjò sílẹ̀ mímọ́ Israel àti Jordan níbi táyìn èèyàn Ọlọ́run yóò ti bá wòlíì ìran yìí Prophet Dr. S.K. Abiara àti Pastor Isaac K. Abiara tìjọ CAC àgbàlá ìtura dé àwọn àyè iṣẹ́ ìyanu nílẹ̀ mímọ́ wọ̀nyí.
We are going to visit Jordan, Bethlehem, all the stuff you read in the Bible. Papa has told me that he will go with us.
láàrin ọjọ́ kejìdínlógún sọ́jọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n oṣù karùn-ún ọdún 2026 18th to 25th May 2026. This package covers visa processing, tickets, souvenirs, hotels and meals, site entrance fee, spiritual site visitation, prayer and mini concerts, JP ceremony and certificate. Contact You Fit Fly, Success House, 7-Up Road, Oluyole Main Estate, Ring Road, Ibadan. 0907 988 1605 0907 276 5780. ìròyìn ò tá mójúbà.
This is a public service announcement. The Oyo State Rule of Law Enforcement Authority earlier has issued a 14-day notice eviction to owners and occupants of illegal structures, shanties, kiosks, stores, and ram selling points around the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Liberty Road, Okeado, Ibadan. The directive, effective from Tuesday 27th January 2026, mandates all affected